and welcome to College Creatives, an exclusive one-time-only podcast where we interview students with bold ideas and crazy creations. Today we talk to Corey Knollinger, a senior at West Liberty University majoring in digital media design and broadcasting. Corey's been working with video since high school and created his first short film, Next, in June of 2017. Today we will be discussing his upcoming short film, Play Shoes, and his inspiration for the piece and his production process. Now let's sit down and hear about the creative process of Play Shoes. So with me, I have Corey Knollinger. Hi, Corey.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? So, you're here to talk about your new short film that you made, Play Shoes.
Yeah.
What was your inspiration behind it?
I was going through a lot of transitions in my life. I had just broken up with a girl. I needed to figure out what I was by myself and figure out what I really wanted to do. There were things that I was good at, but I wasn't really sure if that's what I really wanted to do. I came up with like 3 films that were inherently about myself, but not about myself. One of them being Next, which is poorly done and on YouTube. Play Shoes, which is consumed the last year of my life, and one that I have not written yet, but I know the idea behind it.
So how long has this idea just been kind of like in the back of your head?
It all stemmed from a conversation in a car with one of my best friends, one of my creative collaborators, and the guy who does all the music in this film, Chris Kuski, in a Respecs parking lot, and that conversation happened in June of 2017. And I started writing it that night. The movie's about a couple who kind of transitioned from like being friends for a long time to like being together, and all the pitfalls that come with that, and all the things that we kind of experience in the because like the idea behind Play Shoes, the name, when you're growing up, you have 2 pairs, like you would have 2 pairs of shoes if you came from a like middle class home like I did, where like one of them would be like your school shoes that you were allowed to wear out, and then your play shoes, like shoes that you were like you were allowed to like mess around with and like get in the mud and stuff. But for me, I thought that idea was kind of crazy because you're taking something that works really well in one context, like a pair of shoes that you like wearing to school and that look really nice, and like people aren't gonna like oh, those look ratty, like people like them, and you're moving them to another context and hoping they work well. Because sometimes like you're not gonna wear church shoes to go, like you're not gonna wear like leather shoes with like flat bottoms that you'd wear to church to like the woods,
run around in the mud.
And like sometimes it doesn't work, you know what I mean? And I think that's what Play Shoes is taking somebody that you're friends with, moving them to that context and hoping that it works.
So you had like your whole writing process, and then after writing you went to production. So how long was production for you?
3 days. 3 days? I don't know how we did it. We did like 3 really long days, and we have an 18-minute film because of it. It was crazy.
What were some of like the difficulties that you ran into during like filming and production?
Not having enough time. That was the main thing. So I cut one scene completely out, and I had to rewrite lines to cut that out. So the first 2 scenes are actually completely different from what they are in the script, and I had to do that on set day 3. So that this would actually still make sense. And
so there were a lot of just like last minute, like it was a lot of on the fly changes that you just had to work with.
On day 3, yes. Yeah. Every other day we were pretty good. Day 3 was a lot of last minute changes because we had a location that we had to like go to.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned earlier that this idea came from your friend Chris, who did all the original music. So did you always intend for him to do original music for the film?
Yeah. The first time we tried this was Next. We always make jokes that we're the same brain on 2 different bodies. And it's pretty accurate, honestly.
Having met both of you now, it's very accurate.
It's pretty accurate. So the main thing is like we just went up here one day, he came up to West Lib one day, and we went to the recording studio and we did the whole score. And he looked at me at the end of that day and goes, "Corey, we can never have real jobs." He was like, "This is what we need to do." And I said, "You're right, but I will be broke." I don't know. We work really, really well together. I know that if I have an idea in my head and I explain it to Chris, we have enough music background in common, meaning like we listen to the same stuff, that if I go, I kind of want this to sound like a bebop jazz tune, but not quite Coltrane, just kind of more smooth than that. he gets it. And then that is a legitimate thing that I told him to do. And he did it really, really well. But he's also read every copy of the script. He was on set doing audio. He's helped me workshop this a million times. He's seen every cut of the film, and he's the only person who's seen every cut of the film. And it's so he is as ingrained in this as I am.
Yeah. After you're done with this, obviously you have one more semester left, and then
Yeah.
the graduation date.
Don't talk about that.
So, what are your hopes for, future short films that, you want to do? Do you want to keep making short films like this? Or, what's kind of, the career path that you want to take? What would be your dream job?
So, I think the best way I can describe myself as a storyteller. So I am not too hung up on whether or not the next story I tell is in short film or if it's a documentary or whatever. And I'm also not too hung up on where I work in the industry as long as I can tell stories and enjoy what I do. So, I would really like to work for, a public broadcasting station, a public radio station, something like that, because that's a very story-driven thing. I also wouldn't mind doing the whole working my way up on narrative film. But it's one of those things that, no matter what I end up doing, I'm going to be telling my own stories, whether it's telling other people's stories through my lens or telling my stories through the lens of narrative.
Awesome. Thank you for sitting down for an interview to talk about your short film. I hope the rest of your process goes well, and can't wait to see the final product.
Yeah, me either. It'll be good.
Thank you. When it comes to making films, it's not a one person holding the camera and a film is magically made. It takes a whole crew, like Corey discussed, whether it be having actors or original music written by a friend. Pat King, a close friend to Corey Knollinger and production assistant for Play Shoes, sits down and talks about working on a film set with a close friend who shares similar interests. What was your role during the production process?
I was a production assistant.
What were some of the things that you got to do?
It was mostly setup. I would help bring equipment around and get it set up for them, but I also had a lot of moral support to try to keep spirits high because it got stressful.
How long were the actual recording sessions or filming sessions that you worked on?
It depended. Usually the entire day. We'd get there near 10 or something and would leave sometimes at midnight or 2 a.m. It was never a couple hours, crank it out and head out. It was always okay, we're gonna do this.
How many people, rough estimate, were on the crew?
Not a ton. It was me, it was Corey, it was Scott, it was Chris, and then it was just kind of a rotation of certain people. Joanna was there to do assistant directing. Chris was audio, Scott was video, Corey was, doing the rest of it. Probably around 5 people there too, 5, 6, and then the actors as well.
Did working on the set and helping him make the short film inspire you in any way, make your own short films, or give you kind of motivation in a way?
I think it helped me kind of cement my interests because I was always unsure, but I do think stuff like that is very interesting and I like how it operates, so I at least know it's something that I'm into. I don't know if it's fully what I'd aspire to do, but I know that it's something that I'd be fine doing.
Film is often an art form that gets overlooked. It's a form of art that is made to look easy, when in reality, it's a process that can take up to years to create. Yet it continues to inspire people like Pat and myself to learn more about it and one day find ourselves in the industry. Watching Corey, a close friend of mine, go through the entire process has been an eye-opening experience and has helped me come to appreciate the true art form of filmmaking.